Let me be completely honest with you right now. You are probably watching this because something is not sitting right with you financially. Maybe you look at your bank account and feel this quiet anxiety that you can't quite shake. Maybe you are working incredibly hard, doing everything you are supposed to do, and yet it feels like you are running on a treadmill that never stops. You show up, you grind, you get paid, and then somehow, before you even catch your breath, it is already gone. Bills, rent, groceries, emergencies you never planned for. And deep down, there is this voice that whispers, "Is this really it? Is this just how life works?" I want you to know that voice is not weakness. That voice is wisdom. And the fact that you are here right now looking for answers already puts you ahead of most people who will go their entire lives without ever asking the question you are asking today. Here is something most people never tell you. The difference between people who struggle financially their whole lives and people who build real, lasting wealth is not intelligence. It is not luck. It is not even income. It is one thing. They learned how money actually works, and they put it to work instead of just chasing it. Before we go further, if you are serious about this, we have related programs linked in the description below this video. People who have gone through those resources have completely transformed how they see and handle money. Do not let life keep passing you by while you sit on information that could genuinely change everything for you. But first, let me give you the foundation, because you deserve to understand this deeply. Let us talk about what investing actually is, because most people have been given a complicated, intimidating version of something that is actually beautifully simple. Investing is simply putting your money somewhere so it can grow without you having to physically work for every dollar. That is it. You work once, and then your money keeps working forever. Think about this. Right now, you are probably trading your time for money. Every dollar you earn requires you to show up, perform, and exhaust yourself. But investors, even people who started with very little, eventually reach a point where their money earns money while they sleep, while they are with their family, while they are living. That shift is not a fantasy. That is just math. And understanding that math could be the most important thing you do this year. Let us start with compound interest, because this is where ordinary people start doing extraordinary things. Compound interest means your money earns returns, and then those returns earn returns on top of themselves. It is growth stacking on growth. The longer you leave it, the more powerful it becomes. People who understand this early gain decades of advantage over people who wait. The cost of waiting is not just time, it is massive amounts of wealth that never gets built. People who started investing even small amounts and left them alone for years have watched those amounts turn into figures that once seemed impossible, not because they were special, because they started and they stayed consistent. Now here is where it gets real. There are different vehicles for investing, and knowing which one fits your life matters enormously. Stocks are pieces of companies. When you buy a share of a company, you own a tiny slice of that business. When the company grows, your slice grows with it. Over long periods of time, the stock market has consistently grown, even through crashes, even through recessions, even through every single crisis you can name. People who stayed invested through every storm came out ahead of people who panicked and pulled out. But here is the thing about stocks. They can feel like a roller coaster in the short term. Prices go up, prices go down. And if you are not mentally prepared for that volatility, you might make emotional decisions that cost you dearly. The investors who win are not the ones who time the market perfectly. They are the ones who stay calm and stay in. Then there are index funds. And this is where investing becomes almost unfairly powerful for everyday people. Instead of picking individual stocks and gambling on a single company, an index fund lets you own tiny pieces of hundreds of companies at once. So if one company struggles, dozens of others carry the weight. The risk spreads out, and historically, index funds have delivered incredible long-term results. Some of the most financially sophisticated people in the world put their money in index funds and simply let time do the work. Real estate is another path. Property has created more millionaires throughout history than almost any other asset class. When you own real estate, you can earn from rent, from property value growing over time, or both at once. The barrier to entry feels high, but there are now ways to access real estate investing without owning physical property. Through what are called real estate investment trusts, which allow you to invest in large real estate portfolios the same way you would invest in stocks. Now let us talk about something that most investing content skips entirely because it is not glamorous, but it might be the most powerful concept in this entire video. It is called your rate of return versus the cost of inaction. Every single month you are not investing, inflation is quietly stealing from you. The money sitting in your regular bank account right now is worth less this year than it was last year, and less next year than it is today. Inflation erodes purchasing power. So not investing is not neutral, Not investing is actually losing money slowly and silently every single day. And here is the brutal truth that nobody wants to say out loud. Most people will get to the end of their working years and realize they cannot stop working because they never built anything that works for them. They gave their best decades to a system that paid them just enough to keep showing up but never enough to actually get ahead. That is not your fault, but it is something only you can change. This is the moment where I need you to really hear me. The gap between where you are financially and where you want to be is not closed by working harder. It is closed by understanding leverage. Financial leverage means using money, time, and knowledge together to create an outcome that would be impossible through labor alone. Every wealthy individual, regardless of how they started, eventually figured out this principle and applied it consistently. The people who are building real financial security right now are not geniuses. They are not privileged. Many of them started from nothing, from debt, from genuine hardship. What changed for them was access to the right knowledge at the right time, followed by consistent, disciplined action. Knowledge applied is what separates financial transformation from financial regret. Here is what the journey actually looks like when you commit. In the beginning, progress feels invisible. You invest a small amount and it does not feel dramatic. But underneath the surface, momentum is building. The compounding is starting. The habits are forming. And then one day you look up and the numbers have moved in ways that genuinely take your breath away. Not because anything magical happened, but because time and consistency did exactly what they were always going to do for people who stayed the course. The question is not whether investing works. The evidence on that is overwhelming and undeniable across every economic era in modern history. The question is whether you are going to be someone who acts on what you learn, or someone who nods along and goes back to the same patterns. If you are ready to go deeper, to take this from concept to actual execution in your life, the related programs linked in the description below are built exactly for people like you. People who are serious, who are motivated, and who are tired of watching time pass without financial progress. These resources exist for a specific kind of person who is genuinely ready to make a shift, not just think about it. Most people will scroll past this moment and wonder later why nothing changed. You are not most people. That link is below, and the right time to move on it is right now, not next week, not after the next paycheck. Now. Because every day you wait is a day your future self will wish you had not wasted.